Did you guys see the big event on Sunday? Not the Super Bowl. Queen Latifah is the equalizer. Yeah, she is. Nothing more equal than a giant black lesbian solving crimes. Well, I don't think she'll help white men, so we're all in trouble. Take it, Frank.
Thanks, Pat. Welcome to the Pat Oates Show with co-host Bobby Tamburo. Their special guest tonight is Don Jamieson, formerly of That Metal Show on VH1, and currently is the host of the That Jamieson Show on Compound Media. Welcome, Don, to the POS show. Take it back.
Oh,
how did he do?
Yes.
Did he do okay?
So close. So close.
Fix it. What did he fuck up?
No, it was just a little, he had a little stumble there. He did a little Joe Biden there. He lost his place.
He is older than Joe Biden, to be fair. So
yeah, true. That's true.
Right? You are, Frank, right?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yeah, Frank is you're almost 80. You're not 80 yet.
No, not next year.
Yeah. And Joe couldn't read that good. Joe would never read that good. You did well.
I didn't say it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great.
Right. No. I'm happy you said that. I'm hoping this is the week he dies, and this is the last intro he does. And it's just like Don Jamieson said, it wasn't great. That's it.
No, that sometimes sometimes I'll take an introduction like that any day, because sometimes the introduction dooms you before you even say a word. Like when MCs, at a comedy show and they're bringing, your headliner and they're bringing you up and they give way too many credits to the audience. Yeah. And then it's oh, this next guy, he's got a brand new album out, he won an Emmy, he had a special on Comedy Central, give it up. And then 5 minutes of my act, people are going, where's the Emmy winner? But I'm that great guy that the MC just told us about with 500 credits.
But see, at least you have a lot of credits. When you're someone like me who's opened up for really good people, and when the MC mentions them, it's like, don't mention better people. It's like, he's opened up for this guy. And I'm like, they're gonna want those guys. Before you sleep with a girl, you don't go, who are the better people you fucked? Like, no, I don't want to know about them.
Right.
Frank,
true.
You do perfect. You just say what was written to you, and you did great. Good job, Frank.
I know. No, I did stumble. He did pick it up. He's correct. I stumbled on 2 words.
Don and Jamieson.
Next time he's on.
I see, Don, you're going to be where you're going to be in Norwalk, Connecticut soon? Where is that?
Yeah.
My buddy Pete Angelo's opening for you. And he is a huge metal fan, and you could have and he's a guy I want to suggest to you would be a fun dude to have on your shows. He's a comedian, but he's a young kid, but he's lived metal his whole life, still dressing with the patches everywhere. He looks like he's from the 80s, and you're going to love the kid. He's funny as hell, too.
Well, tell him to take it easy. Tell him to take it easy on the intro.
Yeah, I think he's the feature, thank goodness. So okay. He'll just be fanboying. He'll just be like, he's handsome and he's wonderful. It won't even be your credits. It's like, I watched him when I was 8. It'll be good stuff. Frank,
I'm up there.
Cram in there, Frank.
I just want to know where it was going to be in Norwalk.
We'll plug that later. I know how to do the show. Thanks, Frank.
Oh, okay.
See how Bobby didn't jump in and do that? I didn't jump in during your fucking mediocre at best, as Don Jamieson put it, introduction. I wait till afterwards.
I wanted you to jump in. I needed your help in the middle.
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with Frank here. February 27th at BJ Ryan's.
Okay.
Is that better, Frank? Are you going to go to that show now?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
Frank, you live near there. Are you going to go to the show?
I possibly can. The 27th? Yeah, the 23rd, I'm cleared. I got my second vaccine shot yesterday. So the 23rd, I'm good. So anything after the 20th, I'll be there.
Are you going to buy 2 tickets, one for your second tail now that you got the second vaccine shot?
I was going to say, I'll look for the guy with the third nostril.
Frank, how are we supposed to know if you're actually having a stroke or just Bell's palsy from the vaccine?
I did have Bell's palsy once. I don't know. I mean, you're the last guy to ask. I mean, I have encephalitis. I can't remember anything.
Did you just the best part is passively aggressively say, I just had Bell's palsy once? Like it was like,
yeah, like you had ketchup. The left side of my face went.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Did you? He said it was like Like it was nothing. Like he had a little poison ivy and he just put some calamine on it.
Like he
You
had a
deal with
cold.
it. You deal with it.
I had Bell's palsy. It kept me out of school for 2 days. It was cool.
To be fair, most of Frank's friends had polio growing up, so
Yes.
Bell's palsy is a much better alternative.
Right.
A lot of Frank's childhood friends died from that smallpox blanket they got from those goddamn Indians.
Bringing a tear to my eye.
Yeah. Frank has survived. Frank has survived the swine flu, World War I, II, Korea, Vietnam, H1N1, AIDS,
Pride Month, everything.
Everything.
Yeah, and now coronavirus. He's indestructible.
That's right.
He is. The man won't die. We've tried.
God bless. God bless.
He
Thank
won't die. Bobby, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you, Pat?
We don't have time for that. No, I'm kidding. I'm doing wonderful. I'm happy to have everybody on here. You guys ready to start this? Bobby, you sent me a story. I was like, whoa, look at Bobby. Even though every week I say, do you have something to share? You're like, can we talk about this? I'm like, I guess you just want to make me read, and that's fun.
I thought this one was particularly good for Don, and I have a bonus question after the POS
Well,
question.
do you want to pitch the story, or do you want me to?
No, please.
All right. Let me get off. You know what? We're going to start with the one I have queued up first, then we'll get to your story. Because I'm going with this one, because this one's everyone's talking about it, but I want to talk about it too. You guys know about Gorilla Glue Girl?
Yes.
The girl who put Gorilla Glue in her fucking hair, and now apparently might sue Gorilla Glue, which is even better. Because if you don't know about this, Frank, her name is Tessica Brown, not Jessica. It's with a T. It's Tessica Brown. Issued the warning in a couple now viral videos in which she claimed she had used a heavy strength adhesive to finish off her hairdo. Like she wanted to make sure it stayed firm, and she ran out of her other hold. So she took Gorilla Glue spray and sprayed it on her fucking head. And it wonders why. Brown explained that she ran out of her spray and decided to use the Gorilla Glue spray as a substitute. Weeks and more than a dozen washes later, Brown's hair has remained unmoved. Hey, y'all, for those of you that don't know me, my hair has been like this for about a month now. It's not by choice. It's not by my choice. I didn't mean to do the voice. It made me do that when I read it. She said at the top of the video, then when I do my hair, I like to finish it off with a little got to be glued spray. So I guess the words are close. I don't know. Got to be glued, Gorilla Glue, just to keep it in place. Well, I didn't have any more got to be glue spray. Well, she must be getting a sponsorship from Got to be Glue because she keeps mentioning this fucking spray. So I used this Gorilla Glue spray. Bad idea. Like she tried a ton of times. And actually, Gorilla Glue actually jumped in on social media and tried to give her advice, like do rubbing alcohol, try things, whatever. And she took pictures of her going to like walk-in treatment places and all this stuff, and it's not moving. And she might have fucked her scalp up and all that. It's a dumb move. But now she might sue, which really is insane to me. Because who is the piece of the story? First of all, is it Gorilla Glue for not just paying for all her treatments? Should they do that? I don't think so, but a lot of people feel like they should take care of this woman. Is it social media for making this a thing? I get it that everyone's a moron, but everyone's always been a moron. But the fact that we know this woman, and this woman's now going to get a TV show, Don and I are going to have to open for her at some point. She's gonna be closing shows, just like Bagel Boss got to for a while. Yeah. She's going to be on stage with Lenny Dykstra somewhere. It's going to fucking happen. Is it her? Not so much for being an idiot. Okay, I get it. We've all thought dumb shit. I can use this instead of this. If I drink mouthwash, it might clean my insides. Tide Pods. I know it sounds dumb afterwards, but there are people out there who don't think that well. I know people when I was used to drink that would think if they drank bleach, it would help detoxify themselves. It will, but not in the way you think. But afterwards, in trying to sue and actually getting a lawyer, I understand you're getting attention and people like Chance the Rapper and stuff like that are behind you, which is nice to have. But come on. You know it's glue. Case closed. It doesn't say, it says on every glue bottle, don't put it on you. It's the strongest glue there is. It's for gorillas. All right, that's how strong, or made from gorillas, or whatever the fuck the term is. Or is it, I don't know. There's a million pieces of shit people in this. Who is it? Bobby, you go first.
It's one of two people. It's either the person who left the Gorilla Glue and spray in the bathroom, or the person at the store who put the Gorilla Glue in the beauty products section. Because I could see it now. Gotta have glue hair style Gorilla Glue. Oh, somebody left this here. I'll try it. It's the person who left Gorilla Glue in the bathroom. That shit's powerful. You can't.
The
just
way
leave
I've
it
read
hanging out
this
there.
story, Bobby, is not like it was sitting there and she grabbed by mistake. She went out of her way to get it. Like she left the room. Like she couldn't find her spray, so she got another glue because this was got to be glue. It's like a joke. It's not really glue. Hawaiian punch isn't really from Hawaii or a punch. It's whatever the fuck. It's just some gross shit. But she went and found another glue, but it's real fucking glue. Like I don't think it was in her fucking makeup kit.
Yeah. Well, I think the piece of shit in this is whatever school she went to that did not instill her with any sort of common sense or brains to know to not take actual glue and put it on your skin. I mean, it seems you're right, Pat. It seems so ridiculous that you almost think it is. It's like a publicity stunt for Gorilla Glue. You know, I mean, if I had genital warts, I wouldn't think I could put compound W on this and it'll go away. You know, there's just certain things in life not to do. Not speaking from personal experience, a friend told me that.
Right, but Don, think about it though. We wouldn't do that because we were raised in an older time, Frank, too, with shame. You don't tell people about the fuck ups. You make sure no one finds out. Somebody would tell you, and then you go to school on Monday, they would tell your best friend would tell on you, and then your life would get ruined. Now people on purpose, even if they don't do the dumb shit on purpose, the second they do something stupid, they tell the world to get attention. This girl is online saying, look at me, I put glue in my, no one else said, look at this bitch, she's got glue in her hair, like the back in the day. They're shaming themselves, which is a weird world we're living in, to get likes, to get attention. She wants this to continue because now people care. Now she's viral. She wants to be viral again. She's going to glue her pussy shut. You know that's going to happen. She's going to do it and say, I'm so tired of having babies. I'm going to use this shit on my pussy. And then Gorilla Glue's going to come in with a crowbar and fix it. It's going to happen, but she's going to get sponsored by Gorilla Glue. And she'll have tattoos all over it says Gorilla, which you shouldn't have on if you're a black woman. But anyway, what I'm saying is that it's crazy the world we've become. Like, is it her or is it society that's the piece of shit that now trained us that every time we fuck up, anything we do, good, bad, or indifferent, we've got to tell the fucking world.
Well, listen, I think there's two things going on here. Number one, this kind of story, you're right. I think it's showing, that people in society are just anything for the likes or whatever. But at the same time, it's provided at least a week of new jokes for In Hot Water. So that's a positive. And
yeah, they won't talk about gay things for a week. That's great.
And listen, I'm a big social justice warrior. So I just hope, Pat, this whole experience. I hope this is a learning experience. What do they call those moments? We can use this as a learning moment or whatever. And then I think we can as her scalp heals, we can heal as a country.
Oh yes. Is she going to become the new George Floyd?
Yeah.
Football players have her name glued to the back of their helmet.
Yeah. But really, her school system failed her. Hey, Pat, we haven't seen the last of this, if you think about it, because now these kids are all going to school virtually because of coronavirus. They're not in class doing projects with glue. They don't know how sticky glue is anymore. And then you're going to see, 15 years from now, these kids online are going to put glue in their hair because they're not going to realize it's so sticky. But remember when we had art class, you'd get the glue on your hands and your fingers got stuck together and you had to rub it off for an hour and there was nothing to get it off.
Well,
so
they gave us Elmer's glue or rubber cement. That we didn't get the good shit. Rubber cement with that little paintbrush thing that I don't know what the fuck that was. Bobby, did you finish your point? You good?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Frank, who's the piece of shit?
There's a lot of layers to this onion. I think we're going to have to peel it back a little bit. And first you said something that caught my eye, that she uses products now with the word glue in it.
You said something that caught my eye, Frank. What does that mean? What did he say? Something that caught your eye.
The glue is right here. Did you say that she's using products now with the word glue in it?
I did. What Bobby's saying is it didn't catch your eye, it caught your ear.
Oh, caught my eye. Okay.
I guess you could have saw me say it. Maybe do you have closed captioning on? Do you have the SAP button on the bottom? Donde está Gorilla Glue? Go ahead.
So I, I got to forgive her for that because she's probably vocabulary might be just a little better than mine. She probably didn't understand that there's different types of glue. The glue is not for your hair. Number one. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I have to put some. I have to give some. Pick out the Gorilla Glue Company. They went on social media and tried to help her out.
They
should have
Frank.
realized that they were getting no
They
place.
had to jump in.
Yeah. So what they should have recommended, which I think any doctor would have recommended, is for her to clip all her hair off, go bald, let it regrow, and then she wouldn't have this problem with the new growth.
I think they should have said for her to cut her head off.
No,
Chop off your whole fucking head.
Well, that's another story. That's another story. I don't want to.
It's so coated, Frank. They can't shave it. Like it's so coated in glue.
Really, you can't get a blade in there.
She shampooed it for a month. It hasn't moved.
Yeah,
but see, that's how can you sue the company then? Because the company said, it's not Frank's, red hot. I put the shit on everything. It's fucking glue. It says it right. It says it right on the bottle. The first thing you see when the directions, it says if it comes into contact with your skin, just take a flamethrower to your hands, and basically, So how is she going to sue when the product's motto is, this will hold anything forever? It's Gorilla Glue. It's like cement basically. They're going to go into court and say, yeah, I can't get it out. And they're going to go, yeah, see, it works.
But it won't go that far. What she'll do, all they're doing is this. They're going to say they're going to sue. They're going to have a bunch of people protest. BLM's going to get involved because her life and hair doesn't matter. And then because of that, Gorilla Glue is going to bow down and give a settlement. And this girl's going to make money because she's a moron.
Well,
Frank should be your lawyer because the great first point he made. Number one, she doesn't know what glue is. I would lead with that. I would say this poor girl is glue deficient. She never learned. She didn't have a mother or father. She had a horse, and when it died, she didn't know one day it would be in her hair. I would push some kind of thing that became that. Because if not, that's exactly what's going to happen. Nowadays, we scream and cry for attention for things that don't deserve attention until some group comes in and says, oh, here's a cause. We can get our name out. Frankly, I used to do it pranks, but now it's real. Instead of doing a prank to sell a book, now it's BLM and groups like that coming behind it and saying, we stand with you. Tessica, we stand with you in the terrible trials you went through. It's not your fault. They don't sell Gorilla Glue in black communities. They only sell in white communities. So she didn't understand. It wasn't in her school. And all this shit that isn't even true, just so they hand her $200,000 and then people can support BLM more and they can make more money into their group. That's what's going to happen with this. It's a nothing story. The story in the 80s would have been some bitch put glue in her hair and now she's on bloopers and practical jokes. That's where she would have been.
That's the problem, Pat. We don't have that show anymore. Where's Bob Saget when you need him?
Well, he was the other one. Wait, I think it was Dick Clark and Ed McMahon, both dead. TV's bloopers and practical. That was a bullshit show. The TV was bad. I'm happy we have Glue Lady. Because it is a nice distraction from the other things in the world when things are going crazy to go, oh, even during COVID, someone's stupid. But if there's anything saying we need to stop being in our houses, it's a lady gluing her own head. You need to get outside. You need to see some people. You're missing friends. You need that. How are you a black woman without a sassier, fatter black woman going, girl, you don't put glue in your hair. What the fuck wrong with you? She's missing that.
I just hope in the settlement she doesn't get 500 cases of Gorilla Glue.
They'll do something for her.
I hope BLM jumps on with her train, and the end result settlement is they change the spelling of gorilla to the other spelling of gorilla, and it just becomes an Antifa company. 15% goes to Antifa.
Nice. I think what they'll do is they'll make it so women use it as a hair product. I think they'll come out with Girlrilla, Gurl, and they'll have that when they'll have their hairspray. It will look exactly like it, but the gorilla will have makeup on because it identifies as a pretty lady, even though it's a gorilla. And then they'll sell. They might as well at this point because some woman's going to see that and go, oh, my hair ain't going to move for a month? That sounds good. And they're going to want to put glue. Someone else, I'll guarantee you, has put glue in their hair since this.
Well, Frank, Pat, if you think about it, there's got to be a support group for people who put Gorilla Glue in their hair. I guarantee you there is. Go on Facebook and look there's got to be a Facebook group where you can, you get together in a chat room with people, and they can help you through this, I think.
Or better, on Instagram, the thirsty men who don't read, and they just see her putting pictures up. My hand's glued, and they're putting fire emojis. Like, girl, you look hot. Like, oh, you want to come fuck later? It's like, my head's glued together. I'm gonna be gluing your face with
Maybe
my
if
jizz
you
later.
can get my hand off your head.
It'll be easier to hold your head. That would be better if she put it on. Then a guy grabbed her head to push her down for a BJ. Then he stuck to her head, and that'd be the best. But then he'd be arrested for not social distancing. That would be the issue.
It's a teachable moment. That was the phrase. This is a teachable moment.
It is.
Okay.
But the problem is no one is teachable anymore. No one's able to be taught. There's gonna have until somebody does a YouTube tutorial how not to glue your head. No, but the kids won't learn. They won't learn. And to your earlier statement, Don, my 2 kids are doing Zoom school, and here's the reason why I won't do it, because they don't have to do anything. They just stare at a screen. So none of them will get a woman getting up, getting glue is like the most active woman there's been in the last 2 months.
Right.
Like, even the fact
when
that did that.
When you're a kid and you're taking class while you're eating breakfast at Waffle House, things aren't going to go well when you become an adult.
No. You're gonna put glue on your head. Like, that is
that's
stupid. What do you got, glue on your head? Like, that's why I knew you're stupid. I appreciate that. All right, Bobby, here's your story. Is this Beverly Hills cop playing Sublime Santeria to avoid being live streamed? There's last Friday, a man entered the Beverly Hills Police Department only to be treated like a mini DJ set that could potentially get his Instagram account banned. Senate Devermont was at the department to file a form to obtain body camera footage from an incident in which he received a ticket he felt was unfair. Devermont also happens to be a well-known LA era activist who regularly live streams protests and interactions with the police and gets more than 300,000 follows on Instagram. So he streamed this visit as well, and that's when things got weird. In a video posted on his Instagram account, we see a mostly cordial conversation between Devermont and Beverly Hills Police Department Sergeant Billy Fair, which, by the way, we've talked about this. If you're an adult, don't call yourself Billy. You're William. You're a fucking sergeant. Grow up. Turned a corner, when Fair became upset that Devermont is live streaming the interaction, including showing work contact information for another officer. Fair asks how many people are watching, to which Devermont replies, enough. Fair then stops answering questions, pulls out his phone, and starts silently swiping around, and that's when the ska music starts playing. Fair boosts the volume and continues staring at his phone. For nearly a full minute, Fair is silent and only starts speaking after we are a good way through Sublime Santeria. According to Fair, wasn't just trying to share his love of the music. He was doing this because if you do that, you can't live stream it because it's music that you can't play. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Devermont, whatever his name is? The second you say to me, he's a well-known activist who streams. Okay, if you're an activist, just protest. The fact that nowadays once again, are you doing it for the fucking cause? Or are you doing it for the 300,000 Instagram followers and the sponsorships and everything else you got in the ads and all that shit? They're like, he's there at the police station again. Why are you at the police station so much? You shouldn't be there all the time. What are you constantly with your camera out? Talk to people. Nobody wants to talk to anyone like this. It's rude. It's insane. I was at a baptism for a baby once, and I noticed nobody was watching the baptism, and they were recording like they're gonna fucking watch it later. It's a baby. Like, watch the. You don't have to share this. No one wants to see the baby fucking get wet. It's creepy. Take it off the camera. Get in there. Is it this person for doing this and being an activist in this way? There's nothing wrong with being an activist. There's nothing wrong with passion, but your passion has become more of a selfish thing, not to help people. Is it the cop for not the part where he played the music? Brilliant. For the first minute, this dude, he's coming in. I would have had the music ready. I would have had the Bose speakers in the back, and I would have hit the button. It would have blasted. But Sublime, seriously? That's who you go to in this day and age? I don't mind Sublime, but it's not something I play to make sure it's streamed out there. I don't need my friends knowing to listen to Sublime. That's something you do on your own. You don't tell people you like it. And it's not even good. Now, new Sublime with the lead singer dead is even way worse. So hopefully it wasn't the remakes. Hopefully it was the old shit and not that one. Is it the cop for giving out all that, saying to that, what's all this information? You're saying all these names and all this stuff like that, and then doing that? Because he only did that when it wasn't going his way. if you're gonna do it, do it. If the conversation went your way and he acted right, you weren't gonna use your power to go, look what I can do. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys know this, there's a little bit of friction between black people and police. Maybe you don't want to taunt them and go, oh, you're talking to me? Here's music. Because it's going to make you look bad no matter, especially when you're a Beverly Hills fucking cop, which, by the way, is weird to say because I never realized they were real. I thought that was just Eddie Murphy. I didn't realize they were actually cops.
Yeah. There is a zip code. There is a 90210 zip code also, Pat.
I know, which I did not know for the longest fucking time. Which, by the way, I call Cobra Kai Karate 90210 because that's what it fucking is. Is it the 300,000 fucking people that are following this man are you following them and a girl with a big butt and one of the Jonas Brothers? Like, who's following these boring ass, this guy who's an activist on Instagram where he's got 300,000 followers and they're watching a live stream of him going to the police? Maybe I understand the other lady gluing her head because maybe that's all we can do now. You're like, holy shit, my day is filled with me watching live streams of Gino Bisconti and his cat and a fucking guy yelling about some kind of activist thing. I'm gluing my head shut. Don, who do you think the piece of shit is?
Well, that's easy because let's face it, for every action, there's a reaction. So what's going on now is the piece of shit is the self-proclaimed activist. First of all, if you put on your Instagram profile that you're an activist, you're not an activist. If you're an activist, somebody bestows that on you. You know what I mean? It's like a nickname. If you call like that Seinfeld when George tried to call himself T-Bone, it didn't work. You can't self-proclaim that you're activist. What you have to do is go out and do all these positive things for people, and then somebody on the news or somewhere in the public goes, oh yes, I know so-and-so, he's an activist. This is not an activist. This is somebody who likes to taunt the police because they know the police have no power anymore. Now that people know that they can stick a cell phone an inch from a cop's face and the cop can't do anything about it, it's basically like it's like, when Britney Spears would leave her house, she'd call TMZ and say, I'm going to go to the Starbucks on Sunset, meet me there. And then when they got there, she'd go, oh, you guys are messing with me. Don't follow me. I don't want to be followed. It's the same thing. This guy's he knows the cops are coming. He knows it's going to stream. He's calling himself an activist, and he picks shitty music on top of it. And not only that, Pat, is that, okay, Sublime, they're an average size band, not too bad. They have a nice fan base, but let's say it streams. Like, what are they going to come after him for? $400 or $500? No. When the cop takes out his phone, you play Metallica or the Beatles or Aerosmith.
Lars ain't going to let you stream his shit. Lars ain't going to let you stream nothing. He'll be on top of you all day. That's the thing too. Now Sublime's gonna get fucking listens again.
Hopefully.
Santeria's not even their best song. Anyway, all right. I agree with you 100% with what you said there. And the main thing with this is that point. Are you really an activist? Is he really doing things? I don't know. I know that I've never seen a quote from Martin Luther King saying, I'm a civil rights leader. Like, he never yelled out loud. You could say what you want about the man, whatever. He had a vision, he had a drive, and he did things. And then people said, wow, that's a leader, and he rose up. That's what happens with people with that kind of thing. They rise up. I've never met a smart person who told me they were smart. But I know a lot of dumb people or people who think they're dumb that have to constantly say, I'm really smart. I'm smart. I'm smart. Like, okay, but Einstein didn't go, look how smart I am. He just did his dumb shit that I can't understand because I'm dumb. Never yelled I'm smart. I've said I'm smarter than other people, but those people were dumb. I was doing an average thing and it was fine. I'm an activist in the same way that Bobby's an activist. If it's going to help us get laid, we activate. That's what you do. But this guy coming out doing that, neither one of them's doing their job. The activist isn't doing his job by going there and live streaming just to go, look, I'm going to make you look bad in a quick situation that you weren't ready for. That's not fair. As a real activist, you understand that there could be someone to speak against you, but you're ready to talk with words, not with violence, and activate and make things happen. The cop's also wrong because he's like, I'm going to one up your horse shit with my horse shit instead of handling it like two civilized people. Let's put the cameras away. Let's talk. Let's make sure that your people are getting taken care of, and then we're doing our job. But that doesn't happen now. Now Sublime's more talked about than these two motherfuckers. Frank, who's a piece of shit?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what I get out of this is that the so-called activist is looking for product. He found product. He's got to generate product every day for his followers. And that's all it was. He got product.
I wonder how his OnlyFans is.
I mean, he's just not, I mean, you don't have to be good to have a following. I mean, he's got 300,000. That's not a mainstream. I mean, it's
for
a
an
good
activist,
following.
that's pretty fucking good.
Well, what is he an activist for? I mean, what is his
But
byline?
An activist. Let me see what he's done in a positive manner to help society. Right. His idea of activism is, I'm going to go to this corner in my neighborhood. I'm going to act like an asshole until the cops come. I'm going to start recording them. And if they do the slightest thing wrong in the heat of the moment, then my 300,000 followers could go, aha! Everyone, all the cops are corrupt, defund the police. That's not activism.
Trying to find him, huh? For a guy with 300,000 things, 2 law firms come up bigger before he does. So, no, I don't care what he does.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I just think that he's looking for product, and that was product.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's going there with the intention of getting eyes on things. Now, if he's doing it, but if he's doing it because that's the only way to get people to pay attention to his cause, great. But the fact he's known for doing this, he's right away with the live stream. I know I'm not usually the old man in this situation. I am all for technology and moving forward. I think we get new things. We should use them. And maybe it is the new way of activism. The new way of protesting is doing that because people can't come out and do it. I understand that. But just going to the police station, to me, is more searching for attention and trying to catch someone in an aha moment, like we said, rather than live streaming you speaking to the public. Even by yourself, talking about your thing and then asking for a response and then having the police make a statement and then reading those back and forth and having a real conversation, even if it's not with each other, a back and forth that real reporters could cover. That's the thing. A reporter covered this. A real person who thought one time they were going to write, well, there's no more reporters anymore. It's like, guy went to the cops and live streamed it. Sublime. Here's my article. It's like, remember back in the day, you had a crunch. You had to get an article. You had to get the scoop. You took your months. You found out kids got diddled. And no one's like, that's not enough. We need more. Like, what about priests? Like, all right, we're in. We don't have to do anything anymore. It's just literally, here's your story. We have to get something out every 2 seconds. It's just insane.
Right.
Bob,
I agree
but as the activist, it's like, you don't go up to a girl in a bar and announce that you're a player. You let her figure that out on her own. You don't walk up and go, hi, you're really beautiful. Hey, I'd like to buy you a drink, but listen, I'm a player. I just want you to know up front. Like, you let her try to figure that out. I'm not self-proclaiming I'm a player. If they figure it out, they figure it out. They can, in other words, again, let them label you, but you don't set up an account and then go, I'm an activist, and every day I'm going to create a situation where I can live stream something. That's not activism. That's assholism.
Right. The same way that guy should come into that bar and put out his best face forward to pitch to the audience that he needs to support him, which is that woman. You don't say, I'm going to be awful, and the next day, I'm not even going to be there when you think you wake up and I'm going to be gone. I'll be at my wife's house because I'm married and I'm an awful person. No, you pitch all the great ideas and whatever. You get her to believe in your cause, and then hopefully that night she activates all over your penis. That's what you hope for. But no, you don't just go up and go, you know what, women, this is what you should do. Forget the cop. Every time a guy starts hitting on you, don't like it, play Sublime Santeria. Just get your phone, play it out loud. You don't have to do it because most men will run away. Oh, you like Sublime? And I'm out. It's fine. Bobby, go ahead.
So I love this story the whole way through. I agree with you guys. The activist is kind of a piece of garbage, but it kind of goes back to the if you're really an activist, do you want people to know your name? Like, if you're really planning these crazy things and really making changes, do you want a huge social media presence? Probably not. I love the cops move. I think it's hilarious. I think it's a great response to constantly being on camera. Oh yeah, you want to stream me? Well, let's get it taken down. And I love his choice of music because it's sublime. It's very anti-cop. I think he could have picked a better song though. I agree with Don, and that was going to be my question: is what would your song be? Like, he could have gone comically. He could have come out playing "Fuck the Police" by NWA, gotten a great laugh, got a chuckle out of it. Personally, I probably would have gone with "Crying Like a Bitch." So that way, when they were like, "Why was my Instagram taken down?" Well, you were crying like a bitch, and I think that would sum it all up. So, what would be the song you would choose to come out to? And the piece of shit's the author for giving this away. Now every cop across the country is going to do this anytime they get streamed. Like, it completely, if you thought it was a bad idea and you wrote the article, now everybody's going to do it.
So Don, what's your song? If you're doing this, what's the song you play?
Well, like I said, I'm like the Beatles or Billy Joel or Elton John. Somebody that. Sorry, my earrings keep falling out. They're clip-ons. I inherited them from my grandmother. The bigger the artist, the more expensive a mistake this is. Because you know what I mean? Like if it gets out there in the universe, they could go, okay, you broadcast 30 seconds of help by the Beatles. The Beatles lawyers go, okay, we'll settle for you for $100,000 for licensing fees.
Playing help is funny because he's a cop, so that's
right.
Good.
And you got the song, and you get the economical revenge at the same time.
Frank, what song do you play?
I would play. I'm very sentimental about this, so I would probably pick either Joe Stafford doing "Sentimental Journey" from 1952, or I would go back even farther to Bing Crosby, "White Christmas." I just
can't play White
songs
Christmas,
that nobody has the rights for
can't
anymore.
Play White Christmas. It's got to be all Christmas.
Yes. And the other thing, I love how Frank is
to a black activist. You're in trouble.
I like how Frank is sentimental about an event that took place less than 24 hours ago. He's already. I'm a little misty about this.
It's hard to talk about still. It's too soon.
Yeah, I'm a short timer.
Bobby, what's your song?
Ooh, I do like "Crying Like a Bitch." I think that would be a good one. But something In Sync. Bye 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 by In Sync.
Okay, there you go.
Something,
a little boy band stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then maybe it would start a trend. We would dance together and find unity doing the In Sync dance,
Nice. See, I would go with the Divinyls, "I Touch Myself." I think that it would just make it so awkward that you forget about what you're activating. It's a weird song anyway. You're like, oh shit, I know this song. And then the two of them would join in together. Like, I don't want anybody else. When I think about activism, I touch myself. That could be the new thing. So either way, I actually don't agree with you guys. I think it's the cop. And because I'm still in that place where I believe in the police. I think that when people say the police are doing bad things, every job has bad people and they mostly have good people. I think there's way more good police than there are bad. You can say it's the training, whatever. When the police are playing the same game, you're not supposed to lower down to their standards. You're supposed to be higher. You are the law. You're supposed to be above them. You don't let this person realize, because now a bunch of morons are going to come in hoping for a song, and it's going to become this thing. You're a sergeant. I know your name's Billy, and that's why you fucked up. Your name's Billy. You're not an adult. You should be William. But that fact that he's Sergeant Billy, you don't play I get it. It's fun, but you just played into his fucking game. Look, the police won't let me live stream. The police won't let me get my word out. The police won't let me. It's not about that. A guy came in with a problem. You solve the problem, or you at least help him try to find the best way to resolve it. That's what the police are supposed to do. The police are now trying to be cool and fun because they feel like they have to be because they've been attacked for so long. And I get it. When you get people talking shit about you in school because your pants are you're wearing corduroy pants, you burn the corduroy pants, but you like the corduroy pants. What's the problem? It's got a cool little noise to it. They just get crazy with all that shit. And I think the cops need to stop pandering to them and going, and I understand it seems like a cool defense at a time. It's just going to cause more problems. And it's just telling everyone on the camera that they're in control. And they're not. They're not Spielberg. They're a fucking asshole. Put your fucking phone down and you have a real problem. If not, stay the fuck home. You're not activating shit. You just got some white guy to play a dumb song no one likes.
sound
Frank,
like my
you have a story for
grandfather.
us? Oh, go ahead, Bobby. What's that?
You sound like my grandfather who was a cop who was like, you know how I would handle these activists? My billy club.
No, I
Film
don't want
this.
to beat that. I'm
Yeah.
literally saying the opposite to all that. I don't want that either. I don't want back that world.
No, I hear you,
want-
man. Let's
I do
beat
want
these
back and forth
protesters into
conversation
submission.
again. That's all I want. I want back and forth conversation again. We lost that. We lost. We can still have it. We can have it with Zoom. We're having it right now. They can still do it, but we're
Yeah,
not.
I think we should. I don't want to go back to the Billy Club days unless you just beat people who listen to Sublime. Then I could probably go with that.
Let's do it later. Let's all go out. Frank, do you have a story for us?
Yes, I
Frank,
do.
give me a second to do what we have to always do. Don, Frank has been alive forever. But for most of Frank's life, Frank and this other man you might have heard of, his name was Alan Abel. They went around and they did a bunch of pranks and scams and hoaxes before Impractical Jokers and all that other shit in the world. Back in the day when you did scams and pranks and you never revealed what you did, they've tricked the FBI. They've tricked TV stations. They've tricked everyone in ways of getting people to promote their books or different things like that, or sometimes just to be assholes, I think. But either way, they did this stuff to their dying day, till Alan died, and then reveal a lot of stuff. There's a great documentary about it. Every week, Frank shares one of these things they do, and we figure out who the piece of shit is. And Frank's story, usually it's Frank. Frank, that being said, Frank also is learning how to tell stories, and he's getting better, but they get long. So get your focus on. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank, take it away.
Thank you, Pat. Tonight I want to talk about how a prank grows, how it's organically grown. That you're not looking for a prank. You're not looking to do something, but it falls in your lap, and you got to make a decision what to do with it. This happened about 40 years ago. A guy comes into my business, and he says, "Hey, I know him." He says, "Frank, I got a friend that has many cartons of IBM Selectric typewriters, new typewriters. They fell off a truck. They sell for $700. He's selling them for $300." I said, "I'll take one." So I get my typewriter, very happy. I call up a friend of mine that I was pretty sure needed a new typewriter. I said, "You need a new IBM?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I got some guy that has a group that fell off a truck. And he's selling for $300. They sell for $600-700. Do you want one?" He goes, "Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. How do I get it?" I said, "I'll have him call you." And so he calls him. The deal is made. The guy calls me back and he says, "Frank, I'm a nervous wreck. I just bought a hot typewriter. I've never done anything like this in my life. I'm nervous. I don't know what to do." That's the operative phrase. I don't know what to do. So that gave me an opening. Now I said, "Well, what do I want to do with this?" Okay. I said, "Oh, just relax."
You're an asshole. Go ahead. You're an asshole.
Just relax. Don't worry about it. I mean, there's a million IBM typewriters around. They're not going to find you. And he goes, "Yeah, maybe you're right." Okay. I wait a week. I call him back in a week. And I tell the girl that answers the phone that this is Sergeant Kowalski from the Westport Police Barracks. And I like to speak to the owner of the business. And so my friend gets on. He says, "Can I help you, Sergeant?" And I said, "Yes, I'm taking inventories of all your office equipment." He goes, "Excuse me?" I said, "Of your office equipment." So he says, all right. So he lists everything that he had except the typewriter. I said, "Excuse me, with a business like that, I would think you would have a typewriter." And he goes, "I didn't mention it?" And he goes, "No, you haven't." I said, "What kind of typewriter do you have?" And he says, "It's a, hold on a second. It's an IBM, an old IBM Selectric." He goes, "Okay. Can I have the serial number?" And all of a sudden, there's silence. There's silence. So he gets back on the phone and he says, I can't seem to find it." And so I said, "Okay, I'll come and check it out for you. Do you prefer Tuesday at 10 or Thursday at 4? He said, "Thursday at 4. Okay. And he gave me his name and I knew where to go. And that's it. He hangs up the phone. 2 seconds later, the phone rings and he goes, Frank, they got me. I don't know what to do." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "The police called and they want to know the serial number of the new typewriter that I got. It's hot. What do I do?" I'm sure he's not going to show up for something like that. He goes, No, they are. I got to do something. What should I do?" now that's the opening. What should I do? And I said, well, I think you could either face the music and said somebody came in and bought this typewriter. You know nothing about it. But I don't have a receipt. I said, well, tell them that you didn't get a receipt. Or what you can do, which is the smart move, is buy a new IBM Selectric typewriter and donate the hot one, to charity. You get a write-off. Man, that's a great idea. I'm going to do it. Okay. So he calls me on Friday and he says he never showed up. I said, why don't you call him up to see where he's coming? He goes, no, I'm not going to call him up. So it just died, right? It just died. And then about a couple of years later, he says to me, that thing with the typewriter, was that really the police that called? I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I told him 20 years afterwards that it was a prank.
Was he on his deathbed?
No. I mean, it just comes to you, so you got to take advantage of it and just bring them down the path. So who's the shit in that story?
Shit. First of all, it's a piece of shit.
Who's the piece of
shit?
Who's the piece of shit? Is it me for coming up with this brilliant idea? Is it my friend for looking at, I could get a deal on a typewriter, I'll buy it. It doesn't look at the consequences? Or is it Sergeant Kowalski for not following up on the appointment he had?
All right, Don, you go first.
Well, first of all, anybody under 35 who listen to that story, they don't know what a typewriter is.
That's why Frank puts the picture up.
But they don't know the picture either. They don't know that's a typewriter. They're like, what is that ancient freaking thing? It's like, it's like to go back to
the PS5 red?
Yeah.
Where's the monitor for your computer, Frank?
So the piece of shit in the story, but in the most lovable and genius of ways, is Frank.
Of course.
I mean, that was a classic dick move. And it only, my esteem for you grew 100-fold.
Bobby,
but you're the piece of shit.
Yeah,
thank you,
Bobby.
The piece of shit is Frank, because you sold him the hot print typewriter. If you hadn't been the one who sold him the hot typewriter, then you wouldn't have been. Then it would have just been a funny prank. But you also were like, hey, let me sell you a stolen typewriter and then make you think you're going to get in trouble for buying it.
Yeah, like, you know what? That's right. If he just called you and said, man, I feel real weird. This guy sold me a hot typewriter. And you're like, then did the prank. That's one thing. But you did everything.
He wanted conclusion to it. And there was the only conclusion was for him to donate that to charity and buy a new one that he could sleep at night with. That's all.
See, that would have completed the joke right there, Frank. If then he had to now spend $700 more and bought the new IBM, and then you reveal it to him. That would have been that. You wouldn't have had a friend anymore, but that would have been the ultimate joke.
Frank, you were not the piece of shit in this story.
Thank you, Pat.
Because you are who you are. You take advantage of situations at it. Your friend should have known who you were. You shouldn't have fallen for. He's your friend. He should have fucking known who you were.
That's a good take.
The story is the fucking guy who's selling hot typewriters. What the fuck life do you live? Hot typewriters? Where are you even going? That's why people don't understand how great it was back in the day. You literally, like you said, people under 35 don't know. You could just walk outside your house and nobody could find you. It was amazing. You could also just walk into a business with typewriters that you found and just go, you want some? There's cameras. In that time, that guy was the great. I mean, that guy's the great prankster. He probably wasn't even stolen. He probably just had to sell typewriters and had a quota and knew you were a scumbag and said, this guy only buys things if he thinks he's getting a deal. Let's pretend like we are stolen. And it was probably just a regular fucking typewriter. But that guy's a piece of shit because he started all that. He knows what you are. He knows that you're going to take advantage of friends. Wait, 20 fucking years. 20 years. At that point, why say anything? Let him die with it. Why would you even do that? You should have gone the full route. You should have hired a Polish guy to go be the cop, arrest him, beat him up a little, Billy Club him like we talked about earlier, play some Santeria,
Yeah.
and then let it go. You should have done that.
I am the typewriter police. Open up.
That's even. I hope they had like a CSI like typewriter division that came in. Law and Order. We do nothing but the most heinous of typewriter crimes. Ice-T's there. He's like, yo, you can't be selling that. My fifth black voice, in case anyone's counting. Bobby, do you have a story?
Sure.
You don't have to if you don't have one.
No. This is one. It's just a news story, another news
Cool.
story.
We are
but
going to close on your lovely story.
awesome. There was a streaker at the Super Bowl.
Yes, there was.
And the reason why I want to discuss this story is there are two rumors circulating about this streaker. And Don, you don't know this, but there is somebody here who streaked during a Super Bowl once who can give his analysis on the situation. I'm, of course, talking about Frank.
It was one of his pranks he did during a real Super Bowl. Frank did that.
So
It came
one
to
of
him
the
organically. Oh, yeah.
one of the storylines is literally
I hope
kind
Frank
of what
caught
you
that.
described,
It
Frank.
came to him organically was the best line.
So one of them was literally what you described. He had a buddy. They were both hired by a YouTuber to write their YouTube channel on his chest. One guy distracted the police. The other guy made a run for it. Pretty much what you described. The other story, though, is what I love a lot better. And I hope to God from the bottom of my heart this story is true. And that is that this man found a bookie willing to take a 750 to 1 odds bet that there would be a streaker at the Super Bowl. He put $50,000 down on it. His buddy distracted. He ran on the field, paid $1,000 to get them both out of jail, and turned almost a $380,000 profit.
I like that.
So
I
if
like
that is
story.
truly the story, who is the piece of shit? Is it the guy for rigging the bet? Like, you cheated a bet. At the end of the day, as brilliant as it was, you just cheated. Is it the bookie for taking a bet on a streaker and then looking at a guy and going, I wonder if this guy's going to streak at the Super Bowl? Or is it the Super Bowl for letting this guy streak? Come on. You have literally a third of the normal crowd you have to watch. Make sure nobody gets on the field. Frank, we're going to you first, and give me your thoughts on how he did.
All right, I thought he did a great job, number one, because as Bronx said in an interview today, he was the only one that scored a touchdown. Maybe Kansas City should hire him. Number one. Number two, I'll tell you, they just dropped the security dropped their drawers. They let this guy get in. I blame them. I have a little blame for the bookie. I don't know if the bookie would take that bet. That's a tough bet to take. I don't know, where is he going to lay it off to? I mean, it's just that there's too much of a consequence if you get caught. You know, so I don't know. I think it's just a good story, a human interest story where the guy went in there and streaked and took off his pants.
Who's a piece of shit?
The
show?
security. I'm going to say the security. For security for letting this play out. It should have never.
Frank, they've got a social distance.
20,000 people. 20,000 people in there. I mean, it wasn't when I did it. I just walked on the field as a cop. But they have things in place to stop that. I mean, it was stupid. I mean, it definitely the security should have never happened. They should have caught him.
Frank,
Do you feel
In today's age.
Do you feel like the security or the lack thereof tarnished your legacy a little bit by letting this streaker on to the Super Bowl? Like you
No,
said,
I
you
always
literally went the Batman villain route. You dressed as a cop, came
Right.
out, revealed your mask and everything. Like,
yeah, are you like the Miami Dolphins where they always celebrate when a team finally loses, so your undefeated prank streak keeps going on?
Yeah, I mean, it was easier in 1983 to do that. I mean, it really was. I mean, it was the security guy had a yellow rubber suit on and said security, and I just said the referee was mug leaving his hotel. He just got out of the hospital. He's got to get on the field. And so we're let on the field and we could run rampant, do what we wanted to do. Not only after we got caught, after they tackled us and got us off, they got the cop, not security, the
Right.
cop says, you have any ID? I pull out an ID from
You know the
Southport-
story.
Yeah, the Southport
I'll do it.
racquetball.
Go back to earlier
And they
episodes and
looked
watch
me in.
Frank tell this
Okay.
story.
No,
Jesus Christ, Frank.
it's security. I mean, I definitely they're the piece of shit.
But Frank, is it easier Was it easier back then, or is it easier now in 2000? No, wait, Frank.
Okay.
You're not doing pranks in 2021. I'm not. I know I'm making a joke about it, but being serious with social distancing and the fear of touching anyone because of everything that happened with police and everything else, they're afraid to be enforcing. They're not even really security. They're hall monitors now, and they're afraid to go anywhere. That person can walk by and say, I'm one of the dancers for the weekend, and put fucking a jockstrap on their face, walk by, take their clothes off, and run off. That being said, I don't believe the second story. So I can't even say what that is. Because, yeah, I do believe it could have happened. But just like a dick size, men always lie about the amount they gambled. I believe he did bet it with someone. It wasn't a bookie. It was a friend. And it was for $20. It was for 20 fucking bucks. I bet you I'll go in there. He put down 20 to win 40. And he really wanted that 40. And his a white kid who does stuff like that, his rich father bailed them both out. That's what fucking happened. So the piece of shit is the person that raised that kid to give him the fucking confidence to be fucking naked outside. I'll never have that confidence. I'll never be proud of myself to be naked outside running free. I don't. Thank God it was only 25,000. You don't want 50,000 people seeing your mediocre white penis running around in the cold. Nobody needs that.
Yeah,
It
but
still was a
Pat,
better. It still was a better show than The Weeknd. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
It was
But
better.
it was $40.
Maybe.
Don, who's the piece of shit?
Well, there's two. Well, it depends on the story, right? If it's the gambling story, then the piece of shit is the bookie who would actually take that kind of bet. But let's face it, we all know that there's degenerate gamblers, Gina Visconti, who will bet on anything. So you're going to get people to take that bet. I mean, you will find somebody, but it sets a very dangerous precedent, Pat. That's a very dangerous precedent because now what Bobby, would you say he could have won possibly like $500,000?
Yep.
So now what happens is people now figure this out. So now the laws against streakers the penalty has to be more and more now that the penalty's going to have to be $1 million if you want to, run butt naked across the football field. But then the bets get bigger. The penalty, next thing you know, streaking, automatic death penalty. This is no way to run a society.
But if you charge him more, Don, then you're stopping him from identifying as the person he is. He needs to be out there. He can't help it that he woke up thinking he was a naked free pixie. That's who an activist is going to show up and say, allow them all. Next year, there's going to be no halftime show. It's going to be 100 different fat women running naked, screaming primal screams to make sure we all understand that men are bad. That's what it will be because of this.
And second of all, and then second scenario, if it was for YouTube, here's the deal. These young kids with the YouTube, they don't understand humor. What was funny about streaking back in the day, like when, like in the 70s, when Frank was in the 70s, back then, they showed the streaker, like at least for a few seconds until they could get the camera turned the other way. That's the joke. That you're on national TV and then the reaction of the announcers and the crowd, the reaction just from inside the stadium is not funny. You know what I mean? It's just a shot of a guy running naked across the field. That's not the joke. The joke is the anchor going, oh my God, did you see there's a buck naked guy down there? Did you see his hairy ass? That's the funny part of it is the reaction. That you can tell a joke if there's no reaction, it's not a joke. So the YouTube thing, I would say in that scenario, I would say the piece of shit is the NFL for not hiring the cop to play Santeria while he's running across the field because they pull it off of YouTube.
That's a callback, ladies and gentlemen. That's known as in the comedy.
Good night.
But yeah, you're right. Like I remember growing up, and I'd be watching the Yankee game on Channel 11. Some moron would jump over the fence, and then you laughed as like Luis Polonia punched him or something. You're like, all right,
yeah.
And that guy was home with his friend. Like I had a buddy that got drunk once at a Met game, and it said, "I'm going on the field," and he tried to like climb onto the tarp part, and then he was short and drunk, and he fell on the tarp part, and everybody laughed at him, and security felt bad and pushed him back into the stands. And didn't even do shit. And we all laughed about it. He did it to make us laugh because he goes, I'll meet you guys outside or I'll tell you what jail I'm at. Like that's what he was just gonna have fun. You're right. That wasn't about fun. That was about business. That guy was doing a business decision, and you're not going to see it. They're not going to give you good advertising. You know how much advertising costs in the Super Bowl? They're not going to close it on his chest. That's probably why they didn't show it. Not because they want to stop that from happening, because they didn't want to give away free fucking advertising because they're so fucking cheap at CBS because they got to pay those twin weird albino puppets of Phil Simms and goddamn Boomer Esiason to say the same goddamn. That's creepy shit. They're the same guy. So yeah, that's probably why they didn't close in.
They were like, we're not having a Mergalo repeat. He got us last time, God damn it.
We're not getting Mergalo'd again. I hope it's used like that with a D at the end. Don, thank you so much for being on the show. Please tell people where they can see your show and everything else you got going on.
Yeah, you can Compound Media every Tuesday at 12:30 for the Compound subscribers. Follow me on my socials, Don Jamieson, and I'll see everybody and hopefully Frank up in Norwalk on the 27th of this month of February at BJ Ryan's. Come on upstairs for some unpolitically correct laughter. And my new closer is I put Gorilla Glue in my hair, and it's a bit. I can only do it once, but come on out and see me. And thank you guys. And Bobby, good seeing you.
Nice
and
seeing
Pat,
you as well.
I appreciate it, my brother.
Frank, you actually have things, so go ahead.
I got something. Yes, we're back at Mohegan Sun. We're back.
Curfew's lifted. We can do shows again late night. So
yeah, we'll be there for 9:30 shows on. We start March 4th. We come back on the 19th.
You said it's gonna be mostly the first and third. There'll be changes in the schedule. Frank will let you know all the time. But we'll have shows back in Mohegan. If you're a young comic wants to get on the show, let us know. We'll get you on there. It'll be fun time at the casino. Back to doing comedy again. Bobby.
Check out the Eastside Dave Show every Tuesday at 7:30 on Compound Media with Don. Also, March 5th and 6th, I'm at Scotty's Comedy Cove with Gino. The 12th, I'm in Delaware. We're going drinking during the day of that Saturday show. It'll be a lot of fun. And then the weekend after that, we got Comedians at the Compound at the Dojo East. Come out to any of those shows. Let me know if you're there. We'll hang out and do illegal things.
Awesome.
And remember.
No, real quick. I need to plug my things, but I want to thank everyone that's been jumping on board with this. And if we started off, we did this about a year ago. I started doing it as a pilot for Compound. Didn't work out the way I wanted to. We got together with Frank. Then Bobby jumped on board. We've been doing this show every week, finding our rhythm. In the last week or so, our subscriptions have climbed, our views have jumped up, and people are staying on board every week. I appreciate helps with having great guests like Don come on and stuff like that. Not like with Gino, that was terrible. But everyone else, we appreciate when they come on. But really, I'm just proud of what we're doing here. And I thank everyone for doing that. If you're watching this and you don't subscribe to the YouTube channel, come on, you can do it. It takes 2 fucking seconds. You like weird porn, you comment on odd things, just hit the button, subscribe to it on either my Pat Oates channel. I have another podcast called Podophiles. Check that out as well. Also join the Patreon, the Pat Oates Patreon. We're going to have new things. Bobby and I, a new thing we record on Saturday. You'll see it just for the Patreon people. So definitely check that stuff out. And just thank you guys for watching. And Bobby.
And remember, don't be a piece of shit.